In this video, I'm going to walk you through very quickly how you can utilize and create a personal brand online to get more clients. Now, I'll try to do this in a way that's really efficient. There's a lot of other videos out there that just spend, 30 minutes talking about all this stuff. And I'm going to try to hit on the most important points so you can have a clear step-by-step plan you can start implementing literally right after you watch this video. And, just for a little bit of info on why you should trust me. I consistently have grown businesses online utilizing social media and my own personal brand, and then also helping clients do the same thing. So really, the first thing you want to think about and clarify, you could even like get a Google Doc and write this out, is your niche. So you when thinking about niche, you want to think about the problems you solve and who has those problems, but you don't need to have an incredibly narrow niche to the point where that's all you focus on in terms of content in with your online presence. You can have it be more expansive than just the problems you solve and for who. And the way you would do that is by thinking about what makes you, what makes you different, what is your mission and your values. So, for instance, for me, with my current personal brand associated with my work in the business and marketing space, a big part of my personality is my background in the space of mindfulness, wellness, and then my real interest in conscious capitalism and being ethical. So I try to intertwine that into my niche and my personal brand. But you also want to think about, here you can see I help online service providers, coaches, and creators get clients. You do want to have, your personal brand be associated with, again, problems you solve and for who. So really start there by thinking about your niche, because that's going to be a really foundational piece to your personal brand when it comes to getting clients, especially. Then you want to think about your visual identity and professionalism. You really want your brand to be beautiful, and you want it to showcase your expertise and how professional you are. So you want to pick 3 to 5 or so brand colors, 1 or 3 fonts. Use Canva. You can create a branding kit on Canva and then create specific templates that you're going to consistently use with those brand colors and fonts, whether it's for like Instagram carousels, LinkedIn posts, or even like YouTube thumbnails. So, for instance, you can see here with my Instagram page, I have a specific font I use, I have specific colors I use, and I'm consistent with that throughout my posts. And again, as I was referencing that first point about niche, you can see here like some of those topics that I'm posting about related to that. So that second step is, once you have clarity around your niche and how expansive you might that want that to be, move into designing the brand colors, the fonts, and getting your online presence on your social media and website as well looking top notch. Then the third thing you want to do is focus on, okay, what types of content, what topics should I be posting on? Now, the main thing you want to be posting on for most people is going to be the pain points associated with your offerings. So whether you have a high ticket coaching program or course, or you have like a digital info based product or something else, you're going to want to be creating content associated with the pain points that your ideal clients or customers have. But you also want to create content associated with your personality. So topics that are, aligned with you, your mission, your values. And then also have content that is associated with your credibility. What makes you qualified to be a personal brand in talking about stuff in this space? So again, if we look at my page, you can see here I'm talking about pain points. So, signs that someone's Instagram is keeping clients away. I'm talking about the challenge of relying on referrals and word of mouth. But you can also see talking about like my relationship and how much that helps me as an entrepreneur. Talking about how business can be an expression of your soul. And I'm talking about credibility here, showcasing real client results. So that would be the third thing to focus on, is get clear on those topics associated with pain points, your personality, your mission, and then with your branding, start creating on the platforms. When it comes to platforms, I find Instagram to be probably the best to start with, unless you're in a very specific niche where you would maybe want to be focused on something like LinkedIn. But you can also focus on YouTube, as I just mentioned, LinkedIn, and then you also want to have a website. The website does not need to be anything crazy. If you want to create a really simple, easy beautiful website, I would probably say start with Squarespace. But you do want to have typically at least one social media platform, if not multiple, and a website for your personal brands. And just on that note, really, the website is just going to help again establish professionalism, showcase your expertise and how you help in the same way that your social media platforms will. And that's really key to be able to get clients. The last thing to think about with your personal brand is okay, now you have your niche clarified, you have your branding down, you have the topics you're going to post on and where you're going to post and put that content. Once you start that getting that going, you want to start thinking about okay, how often am I posting? So it can really vary, but for instance, anywhere from 2 to 10 posts a week is a good frame of reference because you could get by with a really great Instagram page where it's 2 amazing posts a week. Ideally, you're probably going to want to have closer to 4 to 7, but there's no perfect answer to how much you should be posting, but just think maybe 2 to 10 posts a week, especially if you have multiple platforms. You're wanting to think about posting closer to that 10 times a week range. So for instance, for my personal brand and business, I try to post on YouTube once or twice a week, Instagram 2 to 3 times a week, and then I'm sending out emails as well consistently. So if you follow these 5 specific steps, you should now know exactly what your next move should be in order to get your personal brand actually leading to clients. Now, I will say personal brand alone, just creating content, is not going to be enough for a lot of people to really scale, but it's really necessary if you do want to scale. So if you're going to run ads or do specific outreach, you still want to make sure your personal brand is amazing.